Good morning, everyone. I'm Ms. Ceballos, and this is Career Advisement. What's your dream job? Have any of you given much thought to this? Some of you may know what job you want to have when you graduate college. But do you know the education requirements? How many years of schooling you need to have under your belt to land an entry-level position in the field? Or how about the job outlook? Will there be jobs when I graduate? And pay. If money drives you, what if your dream job has a very low starting salary with very low pay raise percentages? And the application process. What if you need an internship or prior work experience to get the job? Your personality. What if you're a very introverted person and your dream job requires a lot of time working in teams or giving presentations? The schedule. What if it's very demanding? You might need to work long hours, work weekends, or even in dangerous work environments. This may interfere with the type of lifestyle you'd hope to have as an adult. Wouldn't you want to know all of these things about your dream job or career prior to spending thousands of dollars on a college education? What if I told you there's a site that would give you most and maybe even all of the information you need to know about your dream job? The Occupational Outlook Handbook. This site is called the Occupational Outlook Handbook. It's the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The BLS is a principal fact-finding agency for the federal government in the broad field of labor economics and statistics. It gathers the information about the labor market from the census. This would be a great starting point if you're unsure about your job career path you want to take, or it can assist you in learning more about your job or career of choice. This is what the Occupational Outlook Handbook site looks like. So now I will take you to the site. So this is what the Bureau of Labor Statistics looks like. It can easily be found by just Googling, but the handout that I will provide as you can see here, it took me straight to the site that I was already on. So the handout would also have the site and the name of the site, the web address. So there's different ways that you can look through the site. You can search a particular occupation, or you can select occupations by median pay. So you can select the starting salaries, or the median, which is the average salary. The education, doctoral or professional degree, master's, bachelor's, associates. If there's on-the-job training, the projection, the number of new jobs, and the growth rate. So let's take a look first at jobs. Let's say 75,000 or more, and that has a 30% growth rate or faster. So these are the fields. And as you can see, I left, it was entry-level education, on-the-job training, but the jobs that came up don't really have that, because the factors that I did change, 75 or more, and a high growth rate, may have required different levels of education, like a professional degree or master's degree, or on-the-job training, so like internship, residency, and these are the median pay. So then here you'll say, okay, well, I want to choose one of these because I want to make 75,000 or more, and I want to be sure that there's going to be a job when I graduate college. So, health specialist teachers, post-secondary. Doesn't really work for me. Industrial organizational psychologists. No, I don't want that. Information security analyst. Doesn't ring for me. Nurse practitioner, physical therapist, physician assistants. I like to go to the gym. I like to work out. I think that I would like a career in physical therapy. So let's click on it. Now, list. Let's take a gander at the summary. The 2012 median pay. So as of the 2012 census, the median pay is $79,860 per year. It's approximately $38.39 an hour. Entry-level education, you need to have a doctorate or a professional degree. So, are you willing to go to college for 4 years, get a master's degree, and also a doctorate? You're looking here at, I would say, approximately 10 years of higher education once you already graduate high school. So this is something to consider because colleges are very expensive and you might graduate with a lot of debt. So the college, you might need to have a lot of colleges, but you'll be making a lot of money, so you'll be able to pay off your college loans and plan your life out accordingly. Or you say, well, I'll need to have a lot of schooling, so let me focus on also getting a lot of scholarships because I'm going to spend a lot of money on my higher education. Number of jobs since 2012, 204,000. That is a very high growth rate. Okay? And then the job outlook, 36%, much faster than average. And the employment change. So then if you have any question about what these categories mean, you can click a question mark, the projected numeric change in employment from 2012 to 2020. Okay? So then now let's look at these categories, what they do, what physical therapists do. Physical therapists, sometimes called PTS, help injured or ill people improve their movement and manage their pain. These therapists are often an important part of the rehabilitation and treatment of patients with chronic conditions or injuries. What do they do? Now, previously I had mentioned dangerous work environment. Now, that didn't only solely mean police and law enforcement or police officers. Doctors also put themselves in dangerous work environments because you're exposed to people that are ill. You can strike yourself with a needle, things like this that may put you in present danger. Okay, well, moving on, I just wanted to highlight how these are things to consider. So, physical therapists typically do the following. Review patients' medical history and any referrals or notes from doctors or surgeons. Diagnose patients' dysfunctional movements by observing them and stand or walk and by listening to their concerns, among many other methods. So, you can continue reading what they do. So, there's a general overview. The work environment. Physical therapists held about 204,200 jobs in 2012. Physical therapists typically work in private offices, clinics, hospitals, and nursing homes. So if you're considering this, you might want to have an internship in a hospital or in a clinic or have prior work experience exposure, because when people are hiring, they say, what type of experience do you have? Is it in the field? So if you're in college and you need to make some money, you might want to work as a secretary in a clinic to have that hands-on experience and learn about the work environment. Associate yourself with doctors. It's called networking. So they might know hospitals or other physicians that are in physical therapy, and they say, oh, well, when you graduate, I want to help you out. I'll connect you with this person. And networking is very, very important in landing your dream job. Oftentimes people say it's not what you know, it's who you know. But that's not always true, because in certain careers, you need to have prerequisites, things that you need to have under your belt, education, experience, things like this, to get the job. So sometimes that what you know, it's not what you know, who you know, doesn't always hold true. So don't take that into consideration, but don't think that it's the only thing. Networking isn't the only thing. It's an important factor. So the work environment. The industries that employed the most physical therapists in 2012 were as follows: offices of physical, occupational, and speech therapists and audiologists, hospitals, state, local, and private sector, home health care services. So you can be a home attendant to go to someone's home, or you can even start up your own business and say, I want to start up a home health care service. Nursing and residential care facilities, offices of physicians. And the work schedule. Most physical therapists work full-time. About 1 in 4 work part-time in 2012. Although most therapists work during normal business hours, some may work evenings or even weekends. This is what I said. You have to consider the work environment. But being that you work over the evenings and weekends, the fact that you can also work part-time might be a contributing factor into your decision. How to become one. Education. Licenses, certification, and registration. So on top of education, some fields require that you get licenses, certifications, registrations. To be a lawyer, you need to go to school, but after you go to school, you need to pass the bar exam, and that's a certification. So these are things to consider. Important qualities to have. So these are your personality traits. You need to be compassionate, because physical therapists are often drawn to the profession in part by desire to help others. They work with people who are in pain, and most have empathy for their patients. Empathy, it's the feeling of sharing someone's emotions, not sympathy when you feel sorry for someone, but empathy. You're sharing in their sadness, in their pain. So you really want, that is a driving factor in wanting to help them. You're detail-oriented. If you feel like you're very unorganized, this field may present a problem for you, because you need to be very detail-oriented. If you're getting referrals, some of these referrals, if they have a long medical history, their medical history is going to be very thorough and dense. It's going to have a lot of information about their medical history, because sometimes your medical history isn't only about you, it's about your extended family as well. So you might need to really thoroughly look at these files in order to help someone. So these are things that your personality traits. The pay. And then you get charts about the median pay. So the lowest 10% earned less than $55,000, and the top 10% earned $112,000. So that's how they found the median pay of being about $79,000. Because starting out you make $55,000, but the highest you can earn is over $100,000. So in this job you can make a lot of money. The job outlook, we've already established in the summary that it has a high growth rate. SOC code is the standard occupational classification, so it's the code that the Bureau classifies this job in. Physical therapist, the code is 291123, so you might even want to do some research about this code. Okay, so this is searching by. Okay, let's look through similar occupations. So maybe if you say, I didn't really like what I read here, I'm going to try to see if something else that might require less education or might have a higher median pay. I want to look at other career paths. So chiropractors, occupational therapists. You only need a master's degree to be an occupational therapist. Recreational therapists, speech and language pathologists. Okay? And then if you click on it, it'll take you to the same place. So you get a summary of what they do and then similar jobs. Okay? So then you can also look at jobs. So let's go back over here. Okay. So let's say you want to be an accountant. So the way you find to be an accountant is you go through the index. Okay? So here it's going to give you a list from A to Z of all the possible jobs. Okay? You have airplane designers, babysitters, bakers, if you want to be in culinary field, bookkeepers, candy makers. So this is a very broad list of careers. Okay, so one that I had here, and then you can also search accountants.